Hello, everybody. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. After a long time, we are doing this live session. I think we kept you on hold for good 7 minutes, did we? I can see a lot of people here with us. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us here. And please confirm me once if I'm clearly audible and visible to you so that we can start this session once again. Yes. Okay, thank you, Vishek, for confirming. Perfect. So, firstly, I welcome you all to a live session with EnglishYaari. If you have seen the poster, then you definitely know that EnglishYaari has recently hit 100K subscribers. Thank you to each one of you. We are not just thankful but grateful for you to be a part of this family where we want to ensure that you have the confidence which is unbeatable. You have unmatchable energy, and whatever you say, you just say that with patience. Yes, good evening, Gunjan. Good evening. I can see all these messages. Thank you so much. Means a lot. Yes, since this is a live session which is on because of this subscription that we have got, because of these 100K family subscribers, one thing I would like to tell you is that this session is going to be a thankful session, a session where you'll have a lot of learnings, a lot of takeaways. Let me know if you're excited for the same. Thank you, Jaya Prabhakar, for sharing this. Thank you, Deepak. Yes, I can hear it. I want to see some energy before I invite our panelists for discussion today. Oh, yes, thank you. Yes, it's going to be worth waiting. I'm sure you're going to have a lot of fun. Yes, I can see already more than 15, 20 people here in the lobby. Thank you so much, people. Okay, so one thing is special this time. Every live that we used to have, we had this thing. We'll discuss the topic with you, tell you that this is going to be the motive, this is going to be agenda. But for the first time, we kept it secretive. We thought we'll not reveal the topic to you. We'll directly come up and then share. And I think the time has come. Today's topic is not about grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, presentation, or the ordinary conversation you have. We are going to discuss on something really, really important, something that sits in every conversation. A lot of us do not even bother that much about it, but it's really important. It's like that substance which can enhance any dish. And the topic for our discussion is communication etiquettes. You know, Zakir Khan once said that people do not remember what you wore that day. People don't remember what you were speaking. What they remember is how you treated them and what kind of conversation you had. If the conversation was meaningful, you become worth remembering. So today we'll focus on that, and I'm sure you will have a lot of takeaways because today it's not just one expert. There are going to be three experts with us: Tutor Titus, Tutor Viraj, and Tutor A. Clement. All of these tutors have more than decade of years experience. They've not just improved on their own communication but have helped more than 1,000 learners in their journey. So what we are going to learn from them is a lot more than surface level conversation. And I'm sure after this video, you will thank yourself for this decision of joining us today in this live session. Now we'll keep the window open. Let me invite our trainers. Let's have a chit chat with them. Let's go deeper in this topic. Meanwhile, whatever questions you have, keep asking in the chat box. I will ensure that we get this resolved and get the answers straight away from them. Hello, tutors.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello, good
Shruti.
evening.
Evening.
Yeah, good
The
evening to all.
frames looks complete now. Thank you so much for joining us here. I was eagerly waiting for this discussion, and I think the time has come. I don't think you will be able to see the messages that our learners are pouring, but I must tell you, they are simply excited for this discussion. Are you excited?
Yeah,
Yes,
we are
yes,
excited as well. 10 on
All
10.
right. Okay, 10 on 10, all of you?
right.
Okay, done. So my job is simple. I am going to act as a mediator. Whatever learners ask, I'll ensure that I put across you and we get the answers straight away from your side. Sorted?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay, all right. I've already told them that our topic for discussion is communicative etiquettes. Why don't you all share your old versions of this topic? What we understand when we say the etiquettes we should have in a conversation. Let's start with Tutor Viraj, ladies first, and then we'll hear
Oh,
from you.
yeah. Thank you, Shruti. Good evening, everybody. I'm very happy to be here. And when you say communication etiquettes, in my head, I think that it is just about respecting people. If you genuinely respect the person who is conversing with you, and if you really want to listen to them, then everything that can be included under communication etiquettes umbrella would be implemented by you automatically. You won't need to make any efforts and you would be able to do that. That's what I believe.
Oh, wow, wonderful. How about you, Tutor Titus?
Hi, Shruti. Good evening. Very, very delighted to be here. And good evening to Clement and Viraj and all out there listening to us. For me personally, if you ask me what communication etiquette means, I would say, as a tutor on English Yaari, it's my ability to keep my learners at ease and help them to speak their voice out. So I have to take them step by step. Now, I have no nutshell here. All that I would like to say is it's going to be many steps. It's going to be a process. So, communication etiquette means an a tutor's willingness to walk the talk with the learners until and unless the learner feels completely at ease and is able to find their voice.
Wonderful. He has just told how English Yaari tutors bring ease to you. Okay, secrets revealed. Never mind. Let's go to Tutor Clement. What is your understanding for the topic?
Thanks, Shruti. Good evening, all of you. First of all, I would like to just make a clarification here. Many of our participants may not be aware of the word etiquette. So I just want to tell them that it's a set of rules that guide us to be polite and respectful in our behavior, speech, and in every way possible. So when Shruti talks about communication etiquette, how we actually address others, how we make our points clear to the people in a polite and respectful way, that in turn you are also respected. And I always remember a good quotation. It's not what you say, but how you say it. So a person may say 1,000 words in whatever way he wants, but it may not reach a single soul on this planet. But the way, the politeness, the tone of voice, the body language, your gestures, they speak volumes about your communication. So that's my definition.
Wonderful. True that. And to all our viewers who are watching this one live or who will be watching this video once it's posted on YouTube, the reason we picked up this topic is because there are, as Tutor Clement said, there are a list of rules, or in other words, there's a process, not a one-step zone that, okay, today you know all the etiquette. It's like a rule book, and we never focus that much on these unsung rules. It's like nobody said it, nobody told you how to do it, so you don't do it. But I think now that we are growing up and majority of our learners are working professionals, it's really important for them to at least know what these etiquettes are. So we'll try to cover them one after the other. Yes.
Yes.
My job is simple. I'm gonna scrape out all the possible information out of you. So please be ready for that nudge. So we'll start from the scratch. As you told, there are multiple layers when we talk about the etiquettes. I think the very first etiquette I don't see in a lot of people is there are two kind of people. Number one, when you talk to them, you feel like talking with them for hours and hours. You don't want to want that conversation stop. But then there are different kind of learners. You try to talk to them for a good 2-3 minutes, and then you feel, let's wrap it up. When will this conversation end? Right? So why is it so With some people, we feel talking for hours and we don't look at the time. But for others, we constantly check our time. When will this conversation end? What's your idea? Anybody can take this.
Should I go first?
Please,
Why
please
not?
go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Well, I believe sometimes people judge their thoughts a lot before speaking. So they just don't be themselves when they talk. And while it is important to be respectful and we should have the ability to hold on the conversation, I also see some learners hiding behind the fact that they are an introverted personality. And that just becomes an excuse not to talk much, so they sometimes just completely fall on us that you are the one who would continue the conversation and we would just be there to resonate with you. When that happens, it becomes difficult to continue with that thread of conversation. So I think it becomes enjoyable when learners just be themselves. We are there to correct them, we are there to guide them if they hit some roadblock or if they are not able to go ahead. But if they would start being comfortable with us, then they would start being comfortable outside this platform wherever they need to communicate. So I think they need to stop judging themselves and they need to start talking so they would know that there is not much to judge about.
True that. As there's a saying, you are an introvert, not a stupid person. You better speak.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Till how long would you hide yourself saying, okay, I am from this language, I don't know this language, or maybe I don't like talking to people? True that.
Right.
What do you feel
Exactly.
about this? I want to understand from this lens now. A lot of them are working with some companies, they're on different roles. How do I ensure that whenever somebody talks to me, they should find it interesting? Means I want to be impressive person. How do I get that personality?
May I go ahead? Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
All right. Now, the first thing, when you try to impress others, then you fail very badly. In my opinion, be natural, be yourself. God has given us all some individualistic characteristics, which we should never ignore. I must not look at Titus and say, everybody likes Titus. So let me add some of his qualities. The more I try to get into that pleasing way of people, then I really fail very badly. I tried it, I failed, and I did not get any appreciation. But what happened to me in personal life, I just started being myself. I did not try to imitate somebody's accent, the way they communicate, or their body language. I just allowed myself to be myself. And I just reveal this is what I am, this is how I can talk. When people see that you are genuine, that your flow is natural, the way you communicate is something that it is something different, unique. People actually fall in love with you. I don't need anything else. I don't need a perfect accent like Barack Obama. I don't need to dress up like Shah Rukh Khan. No, I don't need to, because they are individuals. They have their own unique qualities. Let me be myself. Go on, talk to people. Maybe I have to add up certain things. It does not mean I should not be in a refined manner. I should refine myself according to our social etiquette. But be yourself. You'll be great.
See,
Yeah,
you
could I?
rightly said that. I have one question, and I want you to answer this, Tutor Titus. Sorry to cut you down here. There are some people who feel, okay, I should listen to maybe Priyanka Chopra, I should listen to this people or news channels. So does that mean watching these people also adds up to our personality, or it's like a disadvantage? Why are you just sabotaging yourself? You're mimicking them. What if you lose your own identity? What do you feel about that?
Yeah, I would like to add something here to what um, Clement said and to what Viraj said, and Shruti, what you are yourself trying to say. Look, the other day I had the opportunity to listen to a little talk given by a retired general from one of our countries. He's a retired general, and he gave just one liner like this. He said, if you see a turtle sitting on a fence, it doesn't mean that it got there by itself. If you
True.
see a turtle sitting on a fence, it doesn't mean that it got there itself of its own ability to climb. I feel very proud to be a tutor on English Yaari. And I always say it wherever I am. Because in my daily interactive sessions with a number of learners, I see this happening. There are many turtles who are sitting on fences today because we are with them. Here is where communication etiquette, I like to relate to it in this way. A tutor always being with a learner in his or her struggles, and at each step, speaking about respectfulness, bringing in clarity, and bringing in whatever confidence. Okay, slowly, bit by bit. After all, Rome was not built in a day. And this is
True.
my perspective on this one. My perspective is that I am being somebody who is able to help my learners sit on the fence, on a fence.
Get it. And I think it was not about the turtles, it's definitely about people. Okay, got to know from that story a lot. Okay. So, one thing is you need to be authentic for sure. And the second thing is you need a lot of things to be able to reach where you want to reach, right? And then our tutors can act there and they can be just like a catalyst in your journey. One thing I would like to understand from all of you, when you meet your learners, I'm sure you would know that some people have quite polished language and some are yet struggling. But when we have a conversation not always need good conversational skills. It needs a lot of other skills as well, some hidden skills. For example,
Yeah.
when I talk to some people, I just smile. It's not about their language, it's just about their presence. So does presence matters when we are talking about communication etiquettes?
Yeah. Yeah. In my opinion, when we talk about communication etiquette, I do not need to talk all the time to impress people. Sometimes people have a misconception or a false idea that in order to make a great communication, I need to keep talking all the time. But please understand, many words actually don't make sense. You know, William Shakespeare very clearly has said brevity is the soul of wit, right? So brevity is something so important for the viewers who may not know the word brevity. It is how precise, how short and simple. In simple way, I can say short and sweet. So it's more than words. Sometimes it's listening. How do I listen? So many a time, people think I need to keep talking, 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 and I should never listen. You know, so what happens is at that time you actually lack empathy, sympathy for the other person. In a way, the other person is made to feel that he or she is not respected. Many a time he just keep listening and we try to say a word up, and then that person doesn't understand that. He moves, he goes on talking, talking. He does not see the body language of the other person or whether I feel comfortable or not. Many things matter a lot in communication. So what I strongly suggest or emphasis here is like communication is not about just talking. It's also about listening. And one more to add, never assume because you have spoken communication is complete. Till you listen to the other person, your communication is not complete. Till I say, Shruti, is that how I have, is that what you are trying to tell me? Is this the message that you are giving me? And Shruti has to agree. Yes, yes, that's what I exactly said. Otherwise,
True.
my communication loses all its purpose. So my point is, don't just speak, listen, then respond again to make it a complete process.
True.
That's what.
Get it. Got it. So first
Yeah,
thing is
I
I am
also
just here
like.
to
Sorry.
conclude. Yes, please. No, go ahead. I will
I
conclude.
actually agree with Clement Sir, and I wanted to add a point to it that when he says that we should always close the communication loop, I have one learner, only one learner, and I remember her very well because every time when I would ask her to share something, in the end she would ask me, "What are your thoughts, Viraj, about it?" And at that time, I feel important that my thoughts matter too. It's not just that we are talking and she is the center of attraction here. What I say matters too. So that's why I remember her for a longer time. That's how we create a connect between us. So while closing the communication loop is important, it's also important that if the other person is not saying something, you ask them, what are your thoughts about this?
That's very important point. And as you said, that's how you feel you're important. Got it. Dear Titus, I would ask you this. Imagine I am in a conversation and the other person is not saying anything, right? So one way is I ask them, are you understanding what I'm saying, or you got it? How do I get some of the verbal or maybe non-verbal hints that okay, this person is interested in what I'm saying?
Often we come across sessions where learners do find it difficult. But I have come across situations or sessions where, these learners who come on English Yari, let us not assume that they do not know English. They do know English. They do know English. So here it is up to us, tutors, to help them with our encouragement. Okay, so now coming back to sessions where we find or we come across learners who find difficult to start. Maybe they are absolutely, finding it difficult. Well, what do? We have to slowly, slowly get them to speak, and there we come across their difficulties. If they say it is with the past tense that they find it difficult, okay, go to certain situations where tense help them to speak. If they say that they just don't get to speak at length, come up with such scenarios which would help them to connect from one point to another point to another point in our first session. Suppose this person comes again, follow up and see where we were on the previous day. And following up like this for about 10 sessions, you would see this person gets to speak at length, is able to expand his or her thoughts. In the beginning, I have found several of them finding it a little difficult. At the same time, continue to find that there are most of them are able to speak, but they don't know how to go about it. So it is very important be much helpful if we know their situation, know their condition, know their weakness, and proceed accordingly.
Get that. So what you're saying over here is that it takes time in order to nurture somebody. We can't take them in
It
one
takes
go.
time.
It takes time. So does that mean in every conversation, imagine I'm in office and I'm talking to somebody, will it take me time to ensure that the second person get comfortable with me? So am I also responsible to bring happiness in conversation, or how do I connect with people? What do I do so that they are there for me?
I think that complimenting somebody can do wonders in this area. If you really want to connect with somebody, a genuine compliment, not just to butter somebody up, but when you compliment them, they suddenly start feeling better about themselves and they start feeling comfortable with you. So, subtle compliment anytime would help. It could be something like, "Hey, your energy is very positive," or "Hey, I love your smile," or "I like how every day you ask me how I am." It could be something very simple, but that can create a bond.
Wow. Thankfully, you have not given us those way of compliments. Otherwise, our audience would have understood. Oh, you're looking beautiful. You're looking charming.
We also need to remember we don't need to make anybody uncomfortable by our compliments.
Absolutely. And I think these all compliments sound so genuine when you are complimenting someone's energy, someone's positivity, someone's way of conversation or connecting with them, right? That's very nice. Okay, so I've so far understood that one should be authentic, one should be true to themselves, whatever they are, just portray. Second is let others speak too. If you are the only one speaking in the session, that means that's not a complete communication. So this is one more
True,
etiquette.
true.
And third, you've told us that through compliments, open them a little. Yeah, does that happen? If I compliment somebody, would they open up more with me? What do you
Hmm.
feel?
If the compliment is genuine, real, if somebody keeps complimenting on something and I actually know that's not true, this person is trying to get my attention all the time, or he or she keeps saying something good for absolutely no reason, then at that time your the same compliment can be misunderstood in many cultures. Even people can get a bit suspicious. Compliment, as Viraj rightly said, complimenting people is so important because sometimes people don't compliment at all. We don't even care. Somebody
True
comes
that.
in, right? Somebody comes in with a new dress. There is nothing wrong in saying, "Hey, you look good," but don't exaggerate. Don't overdo it. Just have a limit, have a boundary on what you say, the words that you, because sometimes I was put in office situations, real life situations. Some people I would feel so allergic to interact with them. The very reason was like the compliments and that flattery was too much. I could easily understand that guy is trying to get something out of me because after some time he would come and ask me something. Okay, that's the purpose behind it, right? So,
Oh,
like Viraj said, let your compliment be genuine. At the same time, ensure you don't overdo it.
that's so true. Otherwise, as you said, excess of everything is bad. Since you were talking about compliment, I think nowadays the biggest compliment is, or the biggest gift you could do is be a good listener. That's the best compliment you could give to
Exactly.
anybody in
Yeah.
Yes.
conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you all have
Listen.
Yes,
been such
Shruti.
a
Yeah.
patient. Yeah. Okay, so how to be a good listener? I want to know one point from Tutor Titus, then Tutor Clement, and Virat. So we'll go this way,
Right.
clockwise. One reason. How
Yes.
can I be a good listener?
Yes, Shruti. Most of the time, I think this is the one that really is in question. See, look, whenever a learner comes to learn, saying
I,
that that Titus has given me a long time to speak. What shall we say? The long time that they mean is that they got around 20 to 25 minutes to speak. More than one. For example, I'll mention you the name of Vishal M. Vishal M is working in a Japanese company, working for a Japanese company. All right, this man, he just loves to speak. Not because he just loves to speak, but he wants to pick up this art of speaking, and so he speaks. Give him a topic, he speaks and speaks and speaks. Why? His aim is very clear. I want to become a fluent speaker. Now, here, what is my role? Listen and listen and listen again. This is not just one case, cases like this. With Madam Shivani Kapoor, she speaks like this. I remember 3, 4 times she wrote comments. Today is a day after 25 to 30 years. I got my youth back where I would speak endlessly at school, participating in debates and stuff like that. And see, listening to such or seeing such comments as a tutor, I am encouraged to give more space to my learners. So, what is my role? Listen, yes, I'm a great listener, but at the same time, not really picking on every little bit that is there. Listen till the end. She or she needs just listening. Look at Renuga she is a chemistry professor from Koto.
okay.
Now, Kota, sorry. She is another person who loves to speak, be it any topic. And Adil Mehboob, yesterday, he got his new posting. He has become regional parts manager, one of the best positions that he could get in Maruti Suzuki India Limited. This man, wow, Titus, you don't need to talk much. You just listen. That's all that he tells me. And so what do? I listen. Sanjeevani Papade. This is what she does every day in sessions. She begins to speak and speak. Titus, you just listen. And then Utkarsh, that little boy, you remember. You remember that little boy, Shruti,
Yeah,
that primary three, that boy. He
true.
just wants me to listen to him because he enjoys talking. And his ultimate aim is to become a great motivational speaker. So
Mm-hmm.
this is my experience, and this has been my experience. If you ask me, how do you listen? I don't know how I listen. I listen to them. I don't know how I listen to them. But at the end of it all, when there are grave mistakes committed, if at all, I point out. But otherwise, very joyously, very happily, with bright smile, I listen to them so that they don't feel in any way, you know, yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
because
would
I
like
think
to
you
say.
at that time, you're not listening to speak, you're just listening genuinely to help them. So I think the intention behind listening should be clear. That's when you'll be able to improve, right? And
True.
since you were giving me this example of Shivani, she has just commented here. She said that I think it's worth reading. When I joined this platform last year, my goal was simple to complete 20 sessions. Little did I know that the journey would inspire to attend over 200 sessions. And every session I discovered positivity. My lord. I think learners just well must by saying this. And 200 session, what a good job,
Uh,
Shivani. And your tutor just mentioned you. I would have been the happiest person if any tutor could say good things about me. Okay, all right. So your part is listen without any intention of speaking more, but patiently being attentive while listening without ulterior motive. Okay, what
Yes,
would be your tip, tutor,
that's right.
Viraj? How to listen better?
um, I think listening is not just about silently absorbing everything. It is also about asking questions when you don't have clarity. It's also about asking for details if you need more information. So, listening to understand and listening to not respond is the way of listening. And I would take liberty of giving one more tip, that listening is not just about, okay, I understood you said something, I know this is my flaw and I would keep working on it. It doesn't end there. I have two learners. When I tell them that next time we need to practice idioms because you speak very well but you need to use more idiomatic expressions, and they come with a goal that today I want to use at least 20 idioms in the session. I have practiced them all weekend and I want to show it that I know that. Yeah, that is implementation. So when somebody implements that way, you know that they listen to you and they implemented something. So it's about taking action as well.
I think this is a life skill. If you listen to somebody, you can understand what they want from you, and things get so easier. I think a lot of times somebody says something and I'm in the middle of things. So I do listen, but that is more of a passive listening. I listen because they were saying something. I think it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
hearing someone, not even listening. It's like hearing passively,
hearing.
not focusing. And then sometimes people do call, Shruti, remember last time we had a discussion, we'll do this. I'm like, oh, I don't know. So you're saying that right. If you're listening to somebody, you also understand what they want from you and what is needed after the thing. Yes, that's how you
Yeah.
can be good. Superb. All right, you've shared two tips. Let's go to Tutor Clement. Let's see what he has in the treasure for us.
Right.
Your tip.
So, what happens in the world of technology now? We are also engrossed in mobile phones, technology, doom scrolling, listening to the sounds of notifications. We are so distracted, and that's why psychologists have they keep talking about the attention span. You know,
Yes.
Mr. Titus talked about how patiently he listens to the learners. Let me take that hijack that scenario to an office or family, wherever friendships. Are
Mm-hmm.
we able to listen to the other person without mobile phones? Or am I getting distracted by the notifications as though the Prime Minister wants me immediately? Or the country is in danger, that without me something is going to happen. Sometimes, all my learners have shared with me, like, It is so frustrating when somebody just acts listening, or when as they keep looking at their phones, they just nod their heads. Yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But actually, we know they are not listening. Their attention has been drawn to mobile phone or some update on it. So that's number one. So if you really want the other person to feel that he is being listened to, keep that mobile phone away. Give your full attention to your husband, to your wife, to your children, to your teacher, to your students, whoever. I'm just creating a bigger scenario here. I'm not confining myself to English Yari, but in general, as our topic is communication, right? But what happens is, when I'm distracted, the speaker actually loses interest. And let me come to English Yari. I had some sessions with some people. Their phones are receiving that notification, time, 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 and they have one eye on the phone, another eye on me. Actually, they miss points. Then again, they come back and say, "Sir, what did you say just now?" Actually, you are missing. We have just 25 to 30 minutes. Make use of it completely. Keep that mobile away. And second point, Shruti, had, do not assume that you have understood the listener carefully. Sometimes what happens is Shruti is trying to tell me, even before she completes her sentence exactly, I already started assuming, this is what Shruti wants to tell me. Then I complete the sentences for Shruti. I am not waiting because I am not patient enough. I think I know it. Titus, this is what he wants to tell me. Finished.
Yeah.
My communication is gone. You lose your interest. That's not listening. So sometimes you need to just keenly observe what they are trying to say and then politely get into the conversation. That way, you actually respect that person. And when they understand you are listening, they also start listening to you.
Couldn't agree more.
And
And when you were
yeah,
saying, I'm just able to recall this is the reason why in schools teachers used to get agitated. Imagine to a tutor you asked twice, "Sir, what did you say, ma'am? Where were you were you not listening?" So now I think it makes sense. They wanted us to be attentive and not assume something. And all of our corporate employees in the chat are definitely gonna relate with it. Sometimes the person start with an idea and we assume, very rightly said, we assume
yeah.
what the second part of the statement is, like, "Oh, got it, I understood." And then you commit an error and then you're like, "Oh, you wanted this, I thought this." So it's better you understand and get your sources right in the first go. Why to guess and think of something which is not true? Very nice. Yes, Tutor Viraj, you were
Shruti,
saying
I
something.
want to add one point here as well. It's also important that when you converse, you also make the other person ready to listen. It's not always the opposite person's responsibility to listen, but sometimes what helps me is getting that micro yes. That can we discuss about this? Can we talk about the last session that we had together? That way, I grab their attention and intuitively they know that this is something important and they need to listen to it. So I think it's also important to get that micro consent that something is important. Are you ready to listen?
And I think when we are talking about listening actively, our voice plays a really important role because our voice is like a microphone. When you want emphasis on something which is very important, you just try to stress a little and the other person gets it. Okay, it's important. That's why he's saying this. And I would like to
Yeah.
start this question from Tutor Titus because I think you have quite a hold on your conversation. When I hear all of you, I feel speak so patiently, and look at me, one person, always bubbly, always excited. So, how to ensure that our voice works the well in any conversation that we are there? Is this also an etiquette, first of all?
It is absolutely. It is a communication etiquette. Yes. But then voice control is something that we all need to learn. Um, and there is every reason to go for this, because people can misunderstand us for our voice level. I have taken enough strain on myself to impart this training to my learners. And some of them are very loud. It is not just because of the volume level, but it is because that's how they speak naturally on ordinary days or every day in their lives. So I normally use my hands when they speak. Hey, come on. When I raise my hands and when I lower it down, it is a warning signal for you to reduce your voice. And most of them, in fact, everyone, those who find it difficult, they do cooperate. They do understand me. So I don't interrupt them because if I have to tell them go slow, that would mean an interruption, which is not part of communication etiquette. Therefore, at least they could, because I'm looking at them and they are intently looking at me. And so I tell them, come on, look at my hands. And as I wave my hands, I'm giving you a signal that you need to have your voice leveled. Go
Yeah.
slow. Yes, Shruti.
True.
That's a
This
great
is what.
way.
Yeah, it's like his hands are like remote control. You speak, but I'll control your speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure next time anybody who's watching, all they need is somebody to tell them, relax, slow down. Nothing is going. Yeah, some
Yeah.
people come up like a bullet train. Even I've seen a lot of people like that. Okay, when we are talking about voice modulation, that's an etiquette. I remember once. I just typed somebody, what's this? Thinking it's casual. I want to understand what they have sent. And they took it in a wrong way that what's this? Yeah, as if I'm making fun of what they've done. So from that day I realized that even while typing or speaking, it's important that your chat or your conversation has warmth, right? That's why I
Mm.
brought this conversational topic. So when I talk about warmth in conversation, and because Tutor Clement brought this point up, I want you to tell me, how can we be empathetic towards others while speaking, how our conversation can sound comfortable to others.
All right. So, when somebody is listening to us, it's always the first thing they see is the voice. They hear the voice, as you said, the intonation, the tone of voice. So usually, it is my habit when a learner comes up on the session and say, "Hi Shruti, how are you today?" Whether I know the person or not, that doesn't matter to me. But I have seen that intonation, that excitement. I'm truly excited to see every new person on English Yaari. And I get comfortable when the repeat learners come and say, "Hello, Titus, how are you? Hello, Viraj, how is the day?" So the minute I say that, you have to see their faces lighting up
Like
like a
that.
sun. And then actually they are already into your fold, they are ready to listen to you. Just for example, I'm just talking for every viewer. When I get into we call it netiquette. Along with etiquette, nowadays we have netiquette, online meetings, whatever, which has become an integral part of our office work nowadays. Online learning,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So our tone is more important because our body language may not be so clear. Right. So whenever you try to communicate, okay, now somebody is sharing something with me. Let me not just sit with my hand on my cheek and say, mm, mm. No, that's not the way you show empathy. You say, oh, wow. Oh, is that so? All right. Then what happened? So you didn't listen to that? You, every prompt, it's like a prompt that we are giving them. People actually are encouraged more to share. They get some more ideas and they
Yeah.
feel respected. Wow, this person is listening to me. I think yesterday I was talking about particular learner who is silent most of the time when I am talking to her, but her face shows all types of expressions. Her eyes get widened, face becomes brightened. When I say something sad, she also becomes sad. It's all in expressions. And I understand, oh, she's listening.
Listening,
She's
yeah.
interacting. Sometimes she does not say the word, but the expression matters a lot. So if you really want to listen and make the other person feel respected and valued,
Mm-hmm.
just say something, say some words. What is that? That's interesting. Ah, wow, that's good to listen to. Something without disturbing their flow of speech.
True.
That otherwise they may speak for 10 minutes and I just sit. Okay, come on, talk. No, it doesn't make sense. Communication actually fails very badly here.
And that's quite an important point, not just through your words, but also through your facial expressions, your body language. You make the other person feel heard, or the other. Otherwise, we all know, or we get some clues. Okay, this person is not even interested. Why am I blabbering and
Yeah.
speaking? Am I talking to a wall or something? Understood that. Let's do one thing. So I have some of the cue cards here with me. So what I'm gonna do is I've written all the possible things people have in their brain, some of the thoughts they have, and you have to tell me whether we agree with this thought or we disagree. If we disagree, why? If we agree, why? Yeah, some of the things they have related to communication. This way, we'll be able to cover some of the etiquettes as well. Are we ready?
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Yes.
So, my first question is from you, Tutor Viraj. It says, being honest is more important than being right in a conversation. Is that
I
true?
agree. I completely agree to it. See, sometimes we are too afraid of hurting somebody's feelings or going against their opinion. And that's why we just go along and we say, yeah, yeah, I agree. But there are always ways where you can express your opinion in a positive way, assertive way, and you still disagree to them. So I would start the conversation with, I know where you are coming from, but I have a different opinion for this. And I would express my honest opinion because sometimes you may just go along and you may agree to them, but your body language would show that you actually don't agree to that. Or if you have a long term relationship with them, then your actions would show that you were not honest. And that would create an image of
Yeah,
you as a person. So it's always better to be honest.
Okay, so no buttering, yes?
No, no buttering.
No,
Yeah.
that's right.
Genuine
No budget.
compliments are always good.
Okay, all right, got that. Now, my second question is from you, Tutor Titus. A good conversation should never have awkward silence. What do you think?
Good conversation could also have awkward silence sometimes. What can we do? Because, and it is a conversation, we don't know at what time one could reply or come up with the right response. It is a conversation. Please allow that awkward silence to happen, but don't stop with it. Come on, break the silence at one point or the other and let it continue. We could always have agreements, disagreements, and all that, yes, but never take it personal. If the people involved in such a conversation are not
Mm-hmm.
try first of all not to take it personal.
Okay, got that. Wonderful. Now, the third one is from you, Tutor Clement. It's okay to end a conversation when the other person is not interested.
Complicated.
Interesting.
Okay, let me rephrase. Like when the other person is not interested, you end up. Yes, I agree. I agree, but it does not suit all our situations because in office settings, the employees may not be interested in what the boss wants to say. So
An example, banger.
the, the, the boss cannot end the conversation. Yeah, he has to continue. She has to continue. But of course, in real life situation, okay, if my daughter does not want certain things and I find that she feels very uncomfortable or somebody is feeling so uncomfortable, then I should read those cues. And if it is not a big deal, I can always step away and end that conversation at that moment and wait for the right moment instead of
Got it.
continuing in spite of the body language that I am observing from the other person. But whether it
Mm-hmm.
is possible in every situation, no, discretion is advised.
Yes, that's good. That's important too. I think a lot of people they don't know how to end a conversation. There are two kind of problem: how to start a conversation. Number two, how to end a conversation. Yeah,
Yeah.
starting I feel is still easy. A lot of people, okay then. I'm like, is this the conversational ending? What do you mean, okay then? Then what? Let's talk later. Later when?
Yeah.
So it happens. Some people don't really know. And I think that's also a communication etiquette. If you have started something, you should end it on a positive note too. Right?
Yeah.
All right. And now the next question is from all of you, because I think we'll all have different opinions. Not every conversation deserve our efforts. This can be debatable though.
Come again,
Does every
Shruti. Please come
conversation,
Yeah,
again.
you need to tell us again. I couldn't understand.
all right, does every conversation require efforts from our end?
Okay.
Hmm.
Do I have to
Can I go
always put in
first?
effort? Yes, why not?
Yeah. I think the goal is to make effortless conversations. That's the goal of any relationship, of any conversation. So, initially, you may need to put certain efforts because that's how we know people, that's how we know their experiences, that's how we understand certain perspectives. But then, ultimately, to come on the same page and work as a team, that is the ultimate goal. So, when conversation becomes effortless, I would think that now my relationship has reached a stage where we are comfortable with each other.
Okay, all right. What are your thoughts, Tutor Titus and Tutor Clement? What both of you feel?
All right.
Dr. Clement,
So,
go ahead.
yes, yeah, yeah, right. So, of course, we all have that responsibility of taking some efforts in a conversation. For example, let me take a very simple example, the conversation between a husband and wife. There are times a husband and wife may converse casually without efforts, but there are a lot of sensitive occasions, situations that arise where it is so important that how am I going to put forth my idea to the other person in a way that he or she understands. So here I think I we need to make some efforts about the tone that I'm going to use, the right words that I'm going to use, because words are so powerful. One wrong word can set the building on fire. The whole
True that.
relationship can collapse because of just one word. Because sometimes I am so emotional about certain things and I want to tell somebody about my how I feel. Let me think twice instead of just rambling and saying something out of my emotions. Let me think a while. What am I going to say? How is it going to be taken? Let me make some efforts, because nowadays people have become very sensitive.
True that.
Youngsters are very sensitive. So every word that we say can be misinterpreted and sent to many people on WhatsApp. This is what Clement said. And so, let me be so
True that.
careful about, yeah, every word, every action matters a lot. So
So
it is
efforts
my opinion.
matters. Yeah,
Yes, yes, yeah.
efforts matter. Got that. And Tutor Titus, your
Yes, Shruti.
final verdict? What do you feel about the same?
I
Do
would
I
like
have to
to
put in
keep my
effort?
response. I'd like to keep my response within the confines of English Yaari sessions. Right. So whenever I am in a conversation with my learners, depends on my learners. If my learners are able or good to go on their own, well, I do not put in too much effort. But most of the times that's not the case. I have to come up with a lot of effort. I have to put in a lot of effort to coax them, to force them, to nudge them, to encourage them, to give them a prod. And
Mm-hmm.
this is what I am able to come up with. That there are times when I need to put in effort. There are times when I don't need to put in effort. It all depends on also the comprehension power of the individual concerned. It's not just that we are able to, yes, if I'm able to talk on a particular topic, and if the other person is not able to comprehend all that I intend to convey, then definitely I need to put in more effort. It doesn't
Truly.
mean that that person is not going to comprehend. He or she will comprehend because I am able to put in more and more and more. In the beginning, it becomes a big struggle for me as a tutor. I always take it as a tutor. I'm sorry. Now, it comes in the beginning, it's a big struggle as a tutor, but later on, I do realize, like Hamid Shahjahan, he's a perfect example of this one. He completed his first subscription. Now, after 2 weeks, he joined again and he said, Titus Sir, I want to speak again. And I showed him the very first sentence that I wrote about him after the first session. Shah Jahan, you are finding it difficult to speak. You need to work hard. Now, and I had tough time because he used to come to me uh, for a number of sessions. Now, in the second round, my what a change! And this is what I would say. Now he's able to speak. So I ask him again and again in every session now, hey, Hamid, where were you? Where were all these skills that you now, communication skills that you exhibit now? Where were all these that time? No, sir. That time I was shy. No, sir. That time
Yeah.
I was diffident. I was timid. So strain on me was harder that time. But now I'm relaxing because I am happy to see him, hear him, listen to him talk and sensibly, meaningfully. That is my
What I
take on
can
it.
conclude on this point is that different conversation have different modus of operandi. Some conversation are easy conversation. You do not have to spend in that much time and effort to repo build and set the stage. But in some
Yeah,
conversation, you would need a lot of patience. And as you said, with all the
exactly.
learners at English Yari, no matter which question I asked, I could not get English Yari out of you. All of you have shared examples of your learners. So to all the ones who are listening us, let me tell you, our tutors are like language doctors. They do complete diagnosis of your problem and prepare sheets on it. What to do, what not to, what's the prescription, what's going to work. But that's magical, I guess. It's been an hour and I didn't realize how I sat with a blank mind that, okay, let's see what you all have to share. And you all have filled in such an important pointers. Though this topic is, I think, an endless topic, because there's so many parts, but overall we could conclude how to be authentic, how to be good listeners, how to ensure that whatever you're saying the other person gets it, the way you should put in efforts. Also ensure that you are never listening to just respond or react. You're here to put in whatever the other person has said. And as Tutor Viraj said, what is the execution? What did you take from it? What did you do after the conversation is also important. Then voice, then our assumptions, all those things come into play. Thank you so much for all these pointers. And let me tell you, meanwhile you were writing you were speaking to me, my attention was diverted because learners have flooded so many questions in the chat for you. And there's one particular learner, I think he has written for all. So he's Tulsi is what the name suggests. He started with Titus Sir is a great speaker. Then he said Dr. Clement is a great speaker, and Viraj Ma'am is also a great speaker. So in short, I must tell you, he
All are
complimented
great
all of
speakers.
you.
Thank you
Shruti,
so
can I
much.
say something here?
Why not?
I mean, it's work and it's our job to help them be better communicators. But day by day, how learners become part of our lives. And then at the end of the day, we also think that, hey, she was going to a birthday party. I hope she could contribute well to the conversation. I hope that interview went well for this candidate. How we become part of their goals and how we start taking responsibility. We never intend to do that. Honestly, I
True,
never
true.
intended to do
I
that.
agree.
I've
I agree.
always wanted to keep a distance, but it just happens that we get connected and there's so much emotional involvement. So I also want to thank all the learners who have given so much love and support through this journey.
100%. All I could see is compliments. This tutor is doing this, that is doing that. I have a couple of questions. We'll quickly pick this up and then we'll wrap this session, right?
Yeah.
So, meanwhile, all the learners who are watching, if you have questions, please type down. I'm picking up the ones I can see right now on the screen. So, the first question is, how long does it take to be fluent? I'm an intermediate learner and I can understand English very well. I've recently completed my 36 sessions on English Yaari and I can see improvement. So the idea is, how long would it take? Already she has spent good 3 months. Is there a timeline? Firstly, I want to understand from you.
Yeah. In my opinion, absolutely there is no timeline. I know this is a very common question that we encounter from all our learners. And I tell them, like, It's not just attending a session with us and having a conversation with us. Many learners think that is sufficient. But actually, there is one important point, Shruti, that I would like to emphasize on. The
Yes.
second question I always ask the particular learners, do you have the habit of reading? Unfortunately, more than 75% of the learners have absolutely no touch with reading. That's a forgotten skill now.
True.
So, reading and speaking, actually, these two skills are interconnected. The more you read, you can always see. Let's take an example, Mr. Shashi Tharoor, who is actually lauded for his wonderful vocabulary and language.
Mhm.
One thing that people should understand, he reads a lot. And without reading, actually, it indirectly helps your speaking, your fluency, everything. So, whoever the participant who has raised that question, let me ask you a simple question whether you have the habit of reading. At least read something every day. It will actually accelerate your fluency in some way or the other because you get ideas, you get some vocabulary, you get some idioms, you get some phrasal verbs, grammar, everything come together and work. So it don't just depend on the half an hour session. Do something more than that. And there is absolutely no timeline. There is no magic wand that we can say, yes, 3 months or 2 months. It
And
depends
you're
on the,
sorted.
yes.
Shruti,
Yes,
I'd like to
got
add
that.
something to it. Can
Please.
I add something to it?
Yes, go
Yeah,
ahead.
Shruti,
Go
I
ahead.
think how long it's going to take to become that fluent, that proficient, and that confident. Let's ask Ritesh Kumar. He has completed over 400 sessions on English Yaari. Let's ask Swaraswati. She completed over 500 sessions on English Yaari. Let's ask Amritpal Singh, who completed more than 500 sessions on English Yaari. Let's ask Nitish Kumar and Naveen. And let us continue to ask Bala Venkateshwar. Let's ask Sanjeevani Papade. Let us ask so many other learners who have completed over 300 to 400 sessions on English Yaari. And I ask them why. They tell me it's because we want to continue to keep this familiarity with English. They feel as if they
True.
are missing something when they are not in a session on English Yaari. So I think there are
True that.
levels of fluency. If you're happy with this level of fluency, okay, fine. If you are simply hopeful of another level of fluency, go ahead. If you still want further level of fluency, the highest, the optimum,
Mhm.
the highest level, they still keep on going.
Yeah.
And I feel very
Yeah.
happy about this particular aspect of learning.
True that. And as they say, learning has no restriction. You can always learn and learn. It's a realm that is never ending. This brings me towards this session where I see Vinay. Yes, Vinay asked that I have interview on Monday as an experienced candidate. So, any suggestions and inputs from the panelists? Yes. Vinay wants some kind
Oh,
of tips and tricks. He has his interview on Monday. 2 more days to go. Like I think 1 day to go. Any quick thing that you would like to say?
I think Vinay should not worry too much about his language. Vinay should just feel confident about himself, because when you are confident, even if you make one or two errors here and there, people don't notice that. Focus on communicating yourself, communicating your ideas, and presenting yourself in a way that even if you have hurdles in your way, you would be able to overcome them. That would be important for this interview. And all the
Yeah.
best, Vinay.
All the
And
best, Vinay, from
Vinay,
all the panelists.
yeah, yes. Also practice well the usual questions. Sometimes we expect some more complicated questions, but interviewers just go with light questions, and the candidate actually thrown off the bus. Just prepare for the regular questions that are usually asked. That will really push you into the next level. So just go there,
and Vinay,
enjoy yourself. Yeah.
Vinay, one more addition. Don't forget the nonverbal communication skills. Particularly, keep a
100%.
broad smile and a confident demeanor. A broad smile and a confident demeanor, and the feeling I can do it. There you
Do
go.
it.
Yes, true. And the final question that we have over here is by Tulsi. It says that all of you, sir and ma'am, I want to learn English, but I don't speak. How can I learn? I think I would like to answer this. You better join our tutors. They know how to get words out of you. Isn't it? If you will
Yes.
think, how will I speak, then what will our tutors do? So all you need is a right platform and a right guidance. Thanks to all the learners who have been here for good 1 hour with us here. See, the idea was simple. We didn't want to scratch the surface, rather give you a meaningful discussion, a meaningful pointers that you can learn from here, which is beyond how you speak. It's about how you make others feel with your speech. And you all, I'm sure, got some good lessons, how your intention matters, your authenticity, your way of treating others matter in conversation. So your words, they'll forget it, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. So please focus on bringing happiness on people's face. As Tutor Virat says, try complimenting sometimes. Tutor Clement said, think of what they're speaking, and Tutor Titus has given you good number of examples to tell if those learners could learn English well, you can do too. Yes, am I right? They can do
Yes.
that.
Yes,
Yeah, true.
Wonderful.
absolutely.
Apart from my learners, I think the discussion could have been successful because all three of you said yes. We thought, let's try. We have always done in one on one. Let's see how a group discussion would be. But I was so amazed. At no point did I feel I have to do anything. You added so much. I sat with a pen and paper, and the paper is completely filled with the notes and the takeaways that you have left for us. Means a lot. I'm truly grateful for you joining us here. And I hope you had a blast too.
Yes,
Yeah,
we did
thank you,
enjoy.
Shruti, for
Yes,
inviting us.
yeah.
Yes, Shruti. I think there is
Means
Thanks
a
for
lot.
being a good host to us today.
Means a lot. Thank you
it's
so
not
much.
about
Due to Titus, we lost you. If you were saying something, could you
yeah.
repeat that?
Yeah, I was about to say this. I was about to say this. You began the session saying that we are great. What is it? Expert tutors. Oh no, Shruti. I think you need to say expert learners. That's what
Oh,
we are here
Yeah.
for.
so sweet.
Yeah.
Means a lot, truly. Thank you so much once again, and I'll see you around. Thanks, means a lot.
Thank you,
Bye.
Shruti.
All
Thank you,
right.
Titus Sir, Clement
Yes,
Thank
Sir.
you.
yes, yes. Take
Bye,
care.
Yaari.
Bye bye.
Viraj,
See you.
Clement,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
Shruti.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.